Welcome everybody to the Detectorists on the Detectorists, episode 4. I'm here with my guest co-host Carl. How are you doing, Carl, today?
Very well, thank you, Katie. How are you?
I'm brilliant, thank you. Super excited, super
Good.
Christmassy, and super happy that we've got our VIP guest back. We've got Ellie, Miss Detectorist. How you doing, Ellie?
Hello,
Hi,
Ellie.
I'm very well. How are you?
So good. Thank you for asking. Very excited. Can't wait to see what Santa brings me. Hopefully, lots of things off my detecting
I was
list.
getting excited. Got the jumpers on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for the listeners, let's describe our outfits of the day. We've got very Christmassy. Ellie, do you want to describe your jumper for the listeners?
I've got a very jazzy number on. It's got a bit of gold sparkle to it. It
Hey.
matches, it's got red and gold and black, and it matches my ring. I'm wearing my Georgian gold ring, which I got back from the flow just a couple of weeks ago. Got the red nails rocking as well.
Yeah.
So I am ready for
Lovely.
it.
Ready for a Christmas party. And Carl, you have got most wonderful head attire. You're rocking your Santa's hat.
I've got my Santa hat on because I don't own a Christmas jumper, but I am wearing a rather festive plaid shirt
Yeah.
and lovely black nail varnish.
Oh, wow.
We are ready to party. And I've gone kind of Nordic Scandinavian, I think, with my jumper. It's just
Yeah.
one of those grey and
Yeah,
white
you do look
jobbies with the reindeer on. So, yes, nice and warm.
Swedish. The Swedish look.
I've gone for the Swedish, absolutely. But very excited and very excited to review. We're now on episode 4 already. I can't believe it. Episode 4 of The Detectorists, and this is titled Power. And this first aired on the 23rd of October 2014. Oof, so long ago. And I'm feeling a bit nervous because, at the end of the last episode, it was all up in the air, wasn't it? And we'd seen.
Literally.
Quite literally, yes.
Yeah, Terry was up in the air, wasn't he? Somewhere, flying around. So we had the Sophie and Becky confrontation where Sophie got drenched. Becky did a right job on her.
A waste of 3 pints.
Yeah, actually, you're right. In this economical climate as well, that's a waste, isn't it? 3 pints, that's at least £27,000, as we discussed last episode in London prices. And then, of course, Becky's going through some stuff, isn't she? We saw her. And
She is.
She'd found the beer mat and she'd taken the pregnancy test, and we don't quite know what's going on, but she ordered an orange juice when she went to the pub, so we can only suspect one thing. And then, of course, the episode finalised, so we didn't know what had happened. There had been an explosion. Terry had gone down to that paddock that nobody should have been in and, whacked his spade right on top of some kind of ordnance. There was an explosion, so we don't know what's happening. And we open, don't we, with Andy.
Such a good. This opening just scene is so good. I love it because it just looks like he's outside detecting. It's filmed so beautifully.
It does. It sounds in that. Have you seen if you go on BBC iPlayer, you can actually read the scripts.
Yeah.
And you can read Mackenzie Crook's kind of directions to the camera, etc. He says on there, the camera shows the blue sky behind him as if he's outside, and then you realise they're actually in this hospital room.
Fantastic.
Really clever.
I need
really
to go in. I haven't looked at that. That's fantastic. And that's just on the iPlayer or on the BBC website, is it?
It's lovely. It's got little directions, even things like the sound of the dunnock singing, or the sound of the wren, even, all those kind of natural things that we are slightly missing with our appraisal of the podcast, because it's those silent moments that there's no dialogue. But he's actually put those into the script notes. It's quite interesting to read.
I like that. I look forward to what you're going to share with us, Ellie, that you've noted down from that as well. So that's a really good point. And in the blue sky behind, and you think he's detecting, you think, well, what's he doing? Because what's happened to Terry? And then the camera pans around, doesn't it? And there's Terry in his hospital bed. And he's not looking too bad, is he? He's got one heavily plastered leg.
He's looking a lot better than we thought he would do. You'd think he'd be blown into pieces.
Major lucky escape there, I think. That's like the worst thing that could happen, isn't it? I mean, all of us
Yes.
It's quite an interesting scene for me as a newbie, because they raise the fact that he sort of talks about, oh, this is detecting lesson number 1. I've blown it, and you
Detecting
think,
school, yeah.
oh, I haven't done detecting school. Can someone fill me in? Because I have not know. What are the rules? Can someone fill me in?
We were saying that, weren't we? Because on the previous episode where Sophie goes, "Is that a thing?" and Andy goes, "No." We were like, maybe it should be a thing. Detecting School 101.
But it's funny because he mentions it, and then they question it. And it's like, what is that? That's it. So he thought that detecting whilst out in a thunderstorm was a no. So obviously, there's two number one
there's
rules.
At least 2. We know there are 2. But if there are any more, perhaps we need people to. We need to start writing the rule book here.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Mr. Health and Safety should do it.
Don't really want to find out the hard way on that one.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, Terry's looking all right. I noticed he had a little bit of scratches around his eye, and then his leg. And what's going on is Andy is scanning his leg and going, "Oh yeah, there's definitely something in there still." And Terry's like, "I knew it," because he's having a bit of pain and a bit of trouble, isn't he? And he's saying, "No, there's definitely some shrapnel still in there."
I've seen this before on Facebook where people's dogs have swallowed something, and they've, or their child has swallowed something, and they've just checked.
Oh,
is there
wow.
anything there? Maybe they got that idea from here.
Yeah.
It's funny when Andy says it's coming up as a small bronze coin. I actually quite like the idea of like the bomb going off, but instead of it like shrapnel from the bomb, there'll have been a little coin next to it or something, and that's probably the thing that's lodged in his leg.
Yeah, that's the thing that's in there. That's a really good. I didn't hear him say that. That's really good.
Yeah, he does. He does. So yeah, they're talking, and he's saying, you got to be careful because you won't be able to detect like that. You need to get it out. That's what he's saying, isn't it? And then Russell's saying that's why Barry Sheen had to call it a day.
Yeah.
I had to look that up. That reference.
Oh, tell me, because I didn't look it up. What is it?
I was going to, but I didn't in the end because I didn't think it would actually mean anything.
Oh, it does. So I'm going to fill you in, Carl.
Okay.
So basically, Barry Sheen was a world champion motorcycle racer in the 70s and 80s. Really dishy as well. I saw some pictures of him, and he's quite a style icon. Really cool.
Yeah.
And his career, he was just going from strength to strength, and then he got knocked out completely by a leg injury. I think his bike crashed into another bike that had fallen on the track, and he couldn't race anymore. So he was this kind of style icon that got knocked out early in his career by a leg injury.
Very good.
Every day is a school day.
There it is. I love this. I'm learning so much.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So then Russell gets a lot of lines in this episode, doesn't he? Which is good. And he's taking the mick about Mr. Health and Safety, and it had to happen to Mr. Health and Safety. And Terry's not happy.
You can only laugh at that if something really bad didn't happen. But once you know he's all right, then you can start the Mickey taking can start.
Yeah, it helps with the recovery, doesn't it? A bit, bit of taking a Mickey. And then Hugh's asking about what type of bomb it was, and Lance was explaining it's just your basic Luftwaffe incendiary device. I was like, okay.
That's his encyclopedic knowledge coming out again, isn't it?
Yeah, and the lesson is, what's the lesson? The lesson is not dig up bombs.
Don't detonate.
Yeah, the lesson is don't detonate the bombs.
You've got to ask yourself how that actually happened, haven't you? I mean, you must have struck it with the spade, or I don't know.
Yeah. So at the end of the last episode, I think it cuts, doesn't it? Just as Terry's like about to really wallop his spade in.
Yeah.
And that must have been the point of contact that set it off. Ooh.
I dread to think. There's loads of that stuff down here on the beach. The beaches that it washes up the ordnance. So it's scary actually because it looks so benign. It doesn't look like anything anymore.
Yeah.
And then still live.
Yeah.
You can never tell, can you? You can never tell.
And
when you see when people have actually found these things and then they do the controlled detonation, some of them really go with a bang, don't they? So it's just like, oof. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a Terry. Don't be a Terry, people.
Don't be a Terry, no.
But Terry's confidence is rocked, isn't it? He's saying he thinks it's time to hang up his detector. and he's gonna like give up his presidency of the metal detecting club. He's just like over it, which is quite a shock, isn't it? And then he immediately suggests to Andy that he thinks he should be the president, or he wants to put him forward to be the president of the club. Get stuff done, which was quite surprising, wasn't it?
I feel a bit sorry for Andy at that moment because he sort of says, well, I'll leave it to you lot to decide, but I would put Andy forward. It's like, he didn't really have much of a chance to say no, did he?
It's one of those situations, isn't it, where you just have to gulp and go, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So then, he says he'll get the jobs done, and then Terry's just like not having it, and he doesn't want to be his rib to be poke anymore, does he? He's like, no, get out. He wants them to go on his way. He wants to rest up. So everybody starts to leave, and then Hugh, bless him.
I love this bit.
Little nervous Hugh turns round. And he's like, oh, you know that bit of shrapnel? And then even before he can finish saying what he's saying, Terry's like, it's yours.
That's just horrible though, isn't it? What a horrible thing.
He just wants the bit of shrapnel. It's very funny, very funny. So they all leave the hospital, and then you cut to Andy and Lance sitting under a lovely tree having a spot of lunch. And Andy sort of, he's asking, why me? Why did he say me? Why did he put me forward? Lance is quite excited by the prospect, isn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves that idea, doesn't he? And he says it's because he's doing an archaeology degree, so he thinks he sounds more credible. But and he starts sort of talking about this idea of power and influence over the, over the club.
Yeah.
A dirty smear campaign. And Andy has to correct him, saying it's just a smear campaign. You're thinking of a dirty protest.
Yeah, that is quite funny. It's really funny.
It's quite interesting. The politics is creeping in there, isn't it? It's like, it seems like such a sort of calm and small club, but actually underneath the surface, there's all these sort of struggles for, the museums and the groups that are rivals, and who's going to be first to find the big thing, and so it's all starting to creep in, isn't it, that idea of politics?
It is, exactly. They need to expand their influence to oust the antique researchers. So that's Lance's number one priority in life, isn't it, at the moment, apart from getting Maggie back.
Did you see the magazine that he's reading under there?
Yes.
It's so clever what they did with that, wasn't it?
They've
adjusted the logo so it says the treasure searcher. So it's like a kind of like a hybrid of the
like
two.
Like a treasure
biggies.
Hunter and the Searcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed that.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch it.
Treasure searcher. I just thought that was so cool, so clever they did that. Nice thing to do.
Yes.
A bit like how they spreaded the wealth with the detector models as well.
It's a little nod of acknowledgement, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Well spotted, Ellie. So they're saying, then they obviously with that magazine, I thought it was funny the way he showed Andy something, didn't he? And like it was a dirty mag or something, and he was like, "Oh!" And it was obviously some bit of treasure that somebody had found that was in the magazine. It's like, "Oh, yeah." And then they continued to chat, and they're talking about the fact they need to get back down to Bishop's Place, don't they? Again, it's similar to the last episode where there's all this urgency, but then when it comes to it actually, and this happens to all of us in our metal detecting lives, you've got other stuff going on, so nothing can be that urgent, really.
It's hard to tie together when you're working with a buddy, like times when you can both. And it must be in that situation where you've scored the permission together and you really need to stick together, then it becomes quite tough to, to like align.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're talking about what they can do that week. Andy's saying he's working a lot, and then Lance specifically says, "Don't go down there without me." He's like, "Yeah." And
this episode sort of turns now, doesn't it? And pivots. It's quite dark.
Yes.
Thanks for giving me this one, Katie. I watched it. I was like, "Oh, this is tense. This is tense all the way through."
So tense. Lance is quite Although he's not great at managing his own life and things. I think he's quite a people watcher. So he's like inquiring, isn't he, as to how Becky is. Is she okay? After the other night, obviously, with what happened with Sophie. And Andy thinks, oh, yeah, she's getting better. And he said he thought Becky was drunk because she was being sick the next day. And you get this bit of a look. I rewound it and saw Lance's face. And Lance kind of looks from side to side. And he's like, all right, yeah, she didn't seem drunk. And Andy's like, no, she was sick the next day.
Andy's just like away with the fairies. He's just not. He's just not self-aware at all, is he?
No, he's got no idea. He's just like, oh no, she's fine. She was drunk. She was sick next day. Nothing else comes into it. And then they start talking about quiz night, and Lance is like, oh good, I'm glad she's feeling better because we need Becky's geography knowledge on the quiz. And then, of course, Andy says he wants to invite Sophie. And I remember at this point thinking, is he mad?
That's what I was thinking. Like, mate, just leave it. You're literally a few days away from the beer soaking.
Yes.
Just don't go there. Just let it lie.
Let it be calm. Don't mention the S word, the Sophie word. But Andy wants Sophie and Becky to be friends. He's absolutely bonkers. And Lance is kind of like, well, good luck with that one. Oh dear. And then we cut now. They've obviously toddled off home, and Andy is back at Becky's school. He's trying to be a good boyfriend, isn't he? And he's carrying a big box of treats that Becky's been given by her pupils. Which I always find quite funny. That's quite a relatively new thing, isn't it? Or say new thing. I'm quite old, but as a kid, I never took in. I remember maybe doing a thank you card or something.
It was traditionally an apple you take, isn't it? And then it started being gifts. And I bet teachers think, oh, you know, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I'd honestly rather just have the cash alternative. I think we used to do that when our children's primary school had like a collection instead, and you just chuck a fiver in or whatever, and then they got 150 quid.
Yeah,
brilliant.
They can go out for a meal or whatever, can't they? Then rather than
I think it puts pressure on parents. That's why they don't do it. So they all end up with a mug.
Oh, just imagine a teacher's like open their cupboard doors and it's just all mugs from children over the years. Oh dear. So yeah, they're chatting and what are they saying? They're talking about quiz night, aren't they? And Becky's very upfront. She said she doesn't want to get to know her. She's a floozy.
a dolly bird and a floozy.
I love it. So derogatory because it's so old school, isn't it? It's like it's much worse than anything modern that you can say. Did you see that she had she's wearing a shirt with tiny magpies all over it?
No, I didn't spot that.
As she comes out of the school, she's wearing a shirt with magpies, and it's a kind of visual theme that you see running through and you hear in the song, obviously later on as well, the magpie song.
Yeah.
I was looking up about magpies because we were talking about folklore and stuff with the theme tune, and I was reading that magpies are really quite interesting birds with folklore because they are they're considered to be an omen of luck, but it's not clear whether it's good luck or bad luck. It depends on where your local tales. And because they can be playful and resourceful, but they also can be tricksters or thieves. And it's kind of quite interesting with this whole story playing out with Sophie. Like, I mean, we'll see later in this episode whether she brings luck or bad luck.
Indeed, yeah. I suppose that's where this because the song comes in, doesn't it? One for sorrow, two for joy,
three for girl, four for boy.
Yeah.
I was at work today and I was teaching somebody that because there were like loads of magpies and we're trying to count how many there were, and then I was trying to get to like I think there were 11 in the end, but I know the song only goes up to 10, so I don't know what the 11th one means.
I don't know. I've got a friend that got so like into that thing that it was starting to stress them out.
Really?
And they've had to kind of blank the rhyme from their mind because I think magpies tend to pair up, and so one for sorrow, two for joy. So at least if you see two, you're going to be happy. And apparently they do stick in pairs pretty much for life.
Yeah.
They
Well,
mate for life.
I know if there's only
So-
ever one of them, you have to say good morning to it. Good morning, Mr. Magpie.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something you
I'll
always
remember
do.
that.
Just so, because if it's on its
Ah.
own, yeah, you say good morning for good luck.
See, around
Okay.
these parts, you have to say, "Hey, Mr. Magpie, how's the wife?" So
Oh yeah, it's good
It's
morning.
really
Yeah, you can
interesting,
say
isn't it?
good morning, Mr. Magpie. How's the wife? Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
another one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of just an
Then you see
extension.
already different local areas got different
Yeah.
folklore around magpies. So
Yeah. So, dear
you'll see.
listeners, let us know when you hear this
Mm.
episode. Write in if you say something different. We want to know. That'd be fun to know. Awesome. Well spotted. So yeah, and then Andy again, he puts his foot in it, doesn't he? And he says those words that you never say to your partner. But he says, "You sound like your mum." So that goes down really well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because she's used the
Yeah.
word floozy. And he very quickly backtracks, saying, "You don't sound anything like your mum. Oh, it's just because you're using words like floozy."
Digging back out that hole you just dug.
Yeah, a crater-sized hole. So then he starts talking about, he's asking what's in the box. She says it's a teacher leaving presents, and then start talking about Terry retiring. And then she said, "Who would be stupid enough to want to be the new president of the metal detecting club?" And quickly cut back to them back at home. Andy sat down in front of a row of teachers' cups while Becky's going absolutely mental. She's really annoyed, isn't she? Because Andy's let on that he's been sort of put forward to be the president and he's considering it.
Yeah.
She's not happy.
And it's going to prevent them from spending time together. And this is where some of the sort of under themes start coming out, like financial pressures.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think's really good about this as a sort of sitcom. It has got its light moments and gentle moments, but it's got underneath it this kind of darker, real life themes.
Yeah. And Becky's definitely starting to resent the whole hobby, isn't she, at this point?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
One line she says that's like I found really funny, which was something that we spoke about in the first episode, I think it was. And she just says, "Coming home smelling of Scout Hall," and we were talking about the community hall smell, weren't we?
We did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, she said you're either covered in mud or stinking of Scout Hall.
Yeah.
It's true. It's probably not the most attractive now I come to think of it.
No.
She's so funny.
dear.
She's got the best lines, isn't she? But then there's that underlying love for each other, and she's just saying she's just disappointed. She really was looking forward to summer holiday, and yeah, you said, Ellie, there's a financial position, isn't there? Because he's still studying for his archaeological degree and just doing temping work, so they can't really afford it. And then he promises as soon as they find the ship burial, he'll take her wherever she wants.
If that was me, I would have lost it at that point. But she's really good. She's like, okay. I'd be like, oh, don't you start with all that. That would be my trigger word. But yeah, she's very, very understanding, isn't she? Which sort of makes the whole thing that's playing out in the background with Sophie even worse.
Yes, exactly. And then we cut to our familiar scene where we see Andy doing something that sort of relates back and looks like metal detecting, doesn't it? So this time, what's he up to this time? He's out painting white lines, isn't he?
The line marking.
Yeah.
Pushing the line. It's a sort of loosely metal detecting related one, isn't it? It's got the slow plod.
Headphones on.
It's not as much of a swing he's got going like usual. In fact, last episode is the only one that doesn't have where he's doing a job in it. Well, really? It's been the only one so far that he hasn't shown him doing a job.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't.
We'll have to look again because I bet there'll be something hidden away that we haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Do some kind of revisit. Yeah, but he finds a Tempe anyway as he's going along, painting the white lines, and then he does his classic and takes his phone out of his pocket, and then it switches over to Lance, who's driving the TR7, singing along with his beautiful, massive, bulky, chunky Bluetooth headset on. And I was just like, whoa.
So old school. Yeah. So funny.
Remember those?
Yeah, like a salesman, like a traveling salesman from the 90s.
Exactly. They seem so ancient already, don't they? So he answers the phone, and Andy's obviously on the other end saying, can we go down to Bishop's place? And he said he can't because he's taking Mags and her mum to bingo again. And Andy again is saying, oh, she's using you, mate. But he's not having any of it. He's promised, and so he's going to stick to his word. So good on Lance for doing that, even though he's a bit of a doormat at this point. And Andy's like, oh, I changed my shift. But he can't. But Lance can do tomorrow. So we think all is well and good, don't we? And Andy hangs up, but then you hear the little ringtone, the old-fashioned style ringtone. And Andy answers his phone, and it's Sophie. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, Sophie.
Yeah.
Sophie's sat in her little single bedroom, isn't she, on her bed, and there's a metal detector behind her, and she's pleased as punch and letting Andy know she's got her detector, which...
Yeah. I don't recognise that one. Do you guys? Is it like just some kind of like one of the Chinese makes?
It's either that or didn't Garrett's have a black one? Didn't they do the AT Pro that was black?
Well, she calls it a Technetics Eurotech.
Technetics?
I mean, that sounds like Technetics Eurotech. That, I don't know. Is that an actual one? I don't recognise it. It sounds like a homemade name.
I'm gonna have a Google.
Sounds like an Amazon special.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like an Amazon special, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, there's a few on there.
Oh, it is. It is. It is a machine. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Technetics.
Sorry, Technetics.
It is. Oh.
It does look very much like my first Amazon special one, though. I have to say, it might be that one we all start out with. I still haven't got my first one out of the cupboard. I need to get it out of the cupboard to see what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got it.
She's gone ahead and got a second-hand one, hasn't she?
Yeah, basically she's itching to get in on the treasure hunting scene. So she's like, when are we going out? And of course Andy can't say no to Sophie, can he, at this point? And he's like, oh, funny you should say that.
This is where he starts making these poor decisions. I mean, he's already made a few, hasn't he? But he's now
solidifying them now.
He's actively doing things he said he won't do. He's defying his friend that's just said no.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And off he goes.
Off he trots. Yeah. He's not in a good place.
Feel it all starting to build up, can't you?
You can.
So we cut to the next scene, and Andy is looking into the big crater left behind by the explosion that Terry was part of. And it's a big old crater, isn't it? It was definitely a big old bang that went off. So Terry's a very lucky man, and Sophie says as such, saying, he was lucky.
I'd be straight in there wanting to get in there, because all that disturbed soil, you'd be like, oh, but then of course you can't, because there might still be something under there. But it's like the perfect opportunity, isn't it, to have a look? It's like freshly plowed by the bomb.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, she's waving around her swanky new detector, saying, showing herself off, like, "Ooh, look at me." And Andy says, "Oh yeah, you look the part. You just need to get your camouflage now." So she is saying, why does everyone wear camouflage? And he says that it's to hide from the predators. But yeah, I don't know if I see many folk in camouflage these days. Do you, when you're out on your digs?
I see.
Yeah. I wear a lot of camouflage.
It was the thing I really noticed when I first joined the hobby, because coming from a fashion background, and camo is like a cool, it's cool in small doses. It can be really cool. But like some people just wear camo on camo, like the hood, the snood, the hoodie, the gilet, the trousers, everything's camo. It's like, what me? No one's gonna be
I think one of the good things is, though, you can get like ex-army
That's what I
camo
think.
jackets, but they're all Gore-Tex as
Yeah.
well, so they're really waterproof and breathable, and they're
I
very
think
cheap
that's what it is. I
compared to
don't
like
think it's
you.
about being
You
invisible.
don't want to spend like that's the thing. You either spend like 300 quid on a nice coat that's just going to get full of mud, or you can spend 70 quid on a Gore-Tex ex-army
Yeah.
camo jacket for I don't know 60 quid, and yeah, I think that's probably why.
But you know, the more I do this hobby, I realise it actually is quite handy to be invisible because you don't really want people seeing you bowling through fields because they think, what are you
Yeah.
doing? But you know you've got permission to
Yeah.
be there. So it's actually quite nice to be low
Yeah.
key and
Yeah,
blend in.
good
To the
point.
But now I can kind of
bright
see it
pink
now. I can
t-shirt.
see why it is. I'm changing.
We're gonna get you in head to toe camo by the end of this series.
I've already got a few. I've got a few accessories which I like to add to the black outfit.
There you go.
I haven't gone head to toe yet.
I know what you mean because sometimes I'll be like in a field that I've got permission to be in, and you see someone looking, don't you? And you immediately, well, I do. I immediately feel guilty, and I'm like, but I know I've got permission.
Yeah, I know I've got permission to be
Yeah.
here. Because you know, even if they come over, you've got to then have that conversation. Like, well, what are you doing? Have you got permission to be here? Who's you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
What you
I just want to get
found.
on with what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
exactly. I always just go straight to my like cruddy pocket and go, oh look, there's a nail and all this. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, and then they're satisfied and go away again. A lot of my
Oh, that's a
fields.
good idea, Katie.
Yeah, do that. You've got to go into that pocket. A lot of my fields around here are like within the village, kind of around the village. But luckily, I used to write for the village magazine, so everybody knows who I am, so it's okay. So they leave me alone.
Oh, that's good. You're a
Yeah.
face. You're a pillar of
Yeah,
consistency. That helps
exactly.
a lot.
She can't be up to anything dodgy. So
No.
then, they carry on, and Andy starts trying to explain to Sophie a little bit about her detector and what discrimination means and the settings it needs to be, and you know, to ignore the iron. And then he's talking about ground balance, and Sophie at this point couldn't be less interested, could she? She just wants to get cracking.
Yeah.
She literally
bamboozled and just wants the treasure.
Yeah,
doesn't
And
she?
also find it funny as like a newbie. You see her walking off in the background. She's holding a detector up, and the coil is just completely at the wrong angle. So if she was to put it on the ground, she'd find nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, with the cable all loose and everything as well, so she'll be detecting her own cable. So yeah, she's like, yeah, boring. And he's like, hang on, you know, what's happened to you? And she's like, just set it to treasure mode and let's get rich. And she just wants to get going. So they start searching. Andy and Sophie are both searching. And then all of a sudden you get a different point of view, don't you? And you realise, somebody's watching them from a distance, aren't they? Somebody's spying on them. So yeah, you're not really quite sure what's going on. We get this kind of bit where it's going to and from them detecting, and then back to Lance, who's sat in his car, isn't he, waiting obviously for Maggie and her mum to come out of the bingo hall. So then I just felt really sorry for Lance again at this point. I keep feeling sorry for him.
It's like a relationship that's being cheated on.
Yeah,
like, even just them two having the relationship, and one of them just doing something sneaky behind the backs.
Yeah, double whammy.
And the other one just not knowing anything about it.
So Lance has specifically said, please don't do that. So yeah, he's cheating on his detecting buddy, and then he's out with Sophie again, which he really shouldn't be doing without Becky's knowledge. So
double cheating.
Bad Andy. What are you doing, mate? He's going to get in trouble, we know that. So yeah, they're digging around, not having much luck, and it cuts to Sophie, and she's so funny the way she sort of gets a signal and sort of digs down, doesn't she, with like a hand digger, and then just produces this big old bit of barbed wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you see what she did with it?
Loves it.
Shoves it in the hedge.
I know, how bad.
Can we just say right now that is not cool? No. Say no to hedge fodder.
If you dig it, take it on with you.
Take it away.
Exactly.
Bad Sophie.
Yes.
Immediately, I don't like her now.
There we go. Finally in Ellie's bad books. Yeah.
That's not a cool thing to do. I mean, No, never a good thing to do.
No, on so many levels as well, because like hedges are like old and ancient in themselves in most cases, aren't they? And then all the wildlife in there, and then you want to get in there and do a bit of Victorian bottle dump hunting as well, don't you? You don't want to be wading through all the bits of
Yeah, you don't
tractor
want to be
and
wading through bits of barbed wire. Yeah, not
not
cool.
cool.
Not cool
There
at
we
all.
go.
No.
We don't like
Not our thing
Sophie
now.
at all now. And then we see Lance again drinking tea in his car because he's still waiting. And then Sophie looks over towards Andy and she does a bit of a double take, doesn't she? Because there's a rainbow at this point. With Andy being at the end of the rainbow.
And that is, it seems kind of cliche, but it has this month. There's been so many rainbows. I've taken hundreds of pictures of them, and they are there. You know, when you're out, you see those fleeting things that you would miss if you were inside. But I suppose it is kind of quite sort of, it's a bit of a prophecy, isn't it? Because she takes a
gold.
picture of him, and then immediately he makes his find.
Yeah. So she goes over because he's found a signal and he's dug it up, and we see he gently brushes away the dirt, and then you see that glint of gold, don't you? And he picks it up, and he's found gold. And
it's annoying because we don't actually get to see it that well. But I
know what you're going to say.
We're all going to say
it looks like a gold hammered coin.
It's a noble. It's not a.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then he calls. He says it's a stator later on.
It's a stator, and that's such a rookie error. And I know that you got that wrong. I don't understand it.
I doubted myself when I thought that, but now you two think it as well.
I think got it wrong because that and Lance's surname is Stater. It's like Mackenzie Crook definitely will know what a stator looks like. It's so iconic and such a beautiful thing to find, and also quite kind of, I guess, not too dissimilar to the timeline they're looking at with their Saxon. I mean, Celtic. It's Saxon then Celtic, right? Help, Sophie.
Celtic, then Saxon.
I just called you
Celtic,
Sophie.
yeah, Celtic.
You have to edit that out.
Sophie's not here. Let me call Sophie. Hang on. No, it's Celtic and then Saxon. Yeah, so it's Celtic
and then Saxon.
So,
so it's not too dissimilar in time zone, sort of.
Yeah, I mean the noble's much lighter, isn't it? Later, not lighter, but it was definitely a noble.
No, the noble's completely different.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different size. It's much larger. It's much flatter. There's something gone wrong.
There's more detail on it as well, and I noticed all the detail. And obviously you don't get to see it properly, but you can see that there's something on it. On the stator, it's so crude, the coins. There'd never been that much detail.
And they're also sort
of
chunky little units, aren't they? Where a hammered coin is, but in its nature, flat. It's like a different beast, isn't it? And
but maybe that's why you don't get to see it though, because you don't even get to see it when he shows it Lance.
No.
So
no, you just see it.
But you see enough. I think if we all thought the same thing, I think you see enough to know that either the props department made a mistake, or
someone's fibbing.
Someone's fibbing, or someone's got it.
Yeah,
misunderstood what that word means, or I don't know.
I mean, Andy wouldn't have. This is Andy's first gold, right? So it's not like he'd have a stator and have found a noble and then being deceitful, saying he'd found a stator. But what service? What would that do for the sort of hiding things from Lance? What purpose would that serve? I don't get it. I think it's a big boo-boo. We're going to have to Google this, aren't we? See if anyone else has chatted about it.
Yeah, we need to find this out.
Yeah. So when Andy pulls the gold coin out, Sophie's like, oh my God, you found your gold. And he says, I found my gold. And then she grabs him and kisses him square on the lips.
He doesn't go, what are you doing?
I know, right? He just takes it and then sort of longingly stares at her for a second afterwards before staring back down at his gold. What is Andy doing? I think that Becky was right last week when she said he's going through his midlife crisis. Bad decisions all around.
And that's when you can. That's when it really focuses in on the person spying through some kind of lens at them.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah, they're being witnessed.
Yeah, who's watching?
Who's
They've just
watching
witnessed
why?
that.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Something fishy going on.
Yeah. So he's found this gold coin that we all think looks like a noble. And then he goes off to, well, before they leave there, we see the MOD turning up, don't we? And he goes, uh-oh, I think we're in trouble. And the army boys have turned up, saying that, well, we find out when he goes to Lance's place. He goes into the flat and Lance is making a nice cup of tea and he's all in a happy mood, poor Lance, and it's about to change. Andy tells him he's got good news and bad news. So he tells him what the MOD have said, that they can't go in that area because they need to do, some more scans and make sure there's no more bombs around, anything like that. So he's like, how did you find this out? Did you phone Bishop? And then he went, well, no. And here's the good news. And Andy's like pleased as punch with himself, isn't he? And at this point, this is when he shows him the gold, which now is a gold stater. And you can see Lance's confusion, can't you? He's kind of like, what's going on? And he's like, hang on a minute. You went there without me. And you can see, can't you? And I would feel the same, I think, if my detecting partner had gone off secretly. Especially like a site like that where you're trying to find some special ship burial and you think there's treasure there. Just heartbreaking. And then he's like, well, I didn't think you'd mind. And then, that's the twist of the knife, isn't it? And he's like, we? It's like, well, yeah, me and Sophie, she got a detector, didn't think you'd mind. Andy, what's going on in your brain? Of course he would mind. And Lance says as much, doesn't he? He's like, you can see he's cut up. He's like, I do mind.
Yeah.
I do mind you went there with her and you found your first gold with her, not me. Literal detectorist cheating has happened, hasn't it?
And he asked him to do the gold dance there in the kitchen then.
Yeah.
And he says, no, I'm not going to do it here. And that's like quite a humiliating thing to ask someone to do, isn't it? Go on then, do the dance. Do it right now. Do it in front of me. And then he's like, well, get out then. Get out like that.
Yeah.
Oh, cutting.
Oh, best mates. It's all falling apart at the seams. So Andy just looks a bit confused, doesn't he? You can tell he's just not thought about anything other than his own feelings and excitement and his own agenda at this point. And so the best Andy can do as he's walking out the door is check back to make sure that Lance is going to the quiz. And
he doesn't say sorry. He doesn't say
no, nothing. So Lance is in the middle of pouring his tea down the sink, kicking him out. And he says, no, he's not going to do his quiz with him. He's going to get his own quiz team together. And then to make it a bit spicy, he's going to stand for club president. And actually, whoever loses on the quiz has to pull out of the presidency race. So it's all getting very nasty now, isn't it?
And then doesn't he also say, and out of the club?
Oh, and out of the club as well. I missed that bit.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he does. And that's quite a lot at stake then, isn't it?
Big time. Big time. So, Lance is hitting out, but you can tell his little heart is broken by what Andy's done. So Andy scurries off and we see the pub quiz and we can see that Lance is sat there and I'm thinking at the time, who's this going to be? I'm wondering at this point before I see it, is he going to go with Becky? But then surely Becky's going to have to go with Andy. And you see Lance sitting there and he's with Maggie, isn't he? And then over comes Tony as well. So things can't be bad enough for Lance.
No. I mean, this is just the most tense quiz you could imagine. There's like tensions within the teams, the tensions between the teams.
Yeah.
It's like supposed to be fun, but it's like you can just feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
There's not enough alcohol at this point in this pub to try and make everyone happy again. Lance is sitting with Maggie and Tony and they start taking the mick out of Tony and his TR7, bless him, don't they? And Tony's talking about it being a penis extension. And then there's all these different jokes that Tony's calling out Lance. And obviously, he's a new boyfriend. He's just being mean. Poor Lance.
So mean. And just so vulgar. Tony is just so vulgar, isn't he? He's like everything, like there's a little scene where they're outside smoking cigarettes, and then he just gets up for no reason, just walks over the table. It's like, mate,
He's such a knob.
Yeah.
It's not just that as well. It's like it's the stance that he had when he was smoking, like with his leg up on there, and he had like his arm on his knee.
Yeah.
We are all unanimous in that opinion.
Someone said on there's this Detectorist series Facebook group. Someone was saying in there the other day, does anyone else agree? I really like that Tony guy. I'd like to go for a drink with him. He seems like a really good bloke. No. I'm going to go back just for the comments on that one.
Brilliant. Oh, that's amazing. So then, Becky and Andy walk into the pub, and Andy's trying to explain what's happening with Lance and the fact that Lance is going to be on a different team. So Becky's not happy now, because obviously Floozy Sophie's going to be on the team. And just as she's talking about Floozy Sophie, Sophie walks in, doesn't she, right in front of them. She's like, Floozy who? Oh, God.
Oh, it's so awkward for Andy now, this moment, isn't it? It's like, it just gets worse and worse. Because they're like, they've got the claws out, these two, haven't they?
Passive aggressive at each other.
They are passive aggressive, like really hard, aren't they? And he's just sat in the middle, just drinking smaller and smaller.
It's so good, but my money's going to be on Becky all day, every day. I tell you that for free.
Oh yeah.
So she's apologising, Becky, to Sophie about pouring pints of lager over her head, 3 pints, in fact. And she's like, it was an accident.
It was an accident.
Sophie's like, it's okay, it happens all the time.
But it's another point. I mentioned it in the last episode where Andy forgets Bex's name again when they're introducing him.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's so bad.
Yeah. Gosh, he's terrible, isn't he?
He just makes it worse for himself every time.
He's just, I think at this point, he's so on edge because he just knows it's about to kick off, doesn't he? He just knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, you see Tony and Maggie sort of scurry off to have their ciggy, which you spoke about there, and Tony's man stance, should we call it? Yeah, on the bench. Yeah. And they're just kind of not even talking to each other, are they? They're both like frozen, smoking, staring off into the distance. And then they hear the quiz is being announced, so they sort of scurry in. So they go in, and Becky and Sophie are chatting to each other, and this is real cattiness, isn't it? This is what you were talking about, where they start talking about, and she's talking about her ancient history degree, and then she's going, oh yeah, well, so you teach, don't you, at primary school, so you've got a good all-round general knowledge up until year 6.
Yes. So she's so like such a cow, isn't she, that Sophie?
Really?
Like we're much younger, and quite honestly, she should be backpedaling big time after the previous week. She should be making the effort and actually saying, look, I'm really sorry, I've overstepped the mark or whatever. There was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
How can I be your friend? That's what her stance should be. But no, she's rude and she's sort of like quite disrespectful because she's a lot younger. And I don't know.
And Andy says, I'm sure Andy says to Sophie at some point that Bex has got a geography degree, and Sophie just looks at her and goes, "Oh, well done, you."
Well done, brilliant.
So patronising.
Yeah, just so rude.
Yeah, she doubles down, doesn't she, on the rudeness?
Yeah.
Oh, she's bad. She's bad. So then the quiz starts. So we know there's a lot riding on this quiz now, isn't there? There's not only the quiz win, but there's pulling out of the presidency race and leaving the club, as you mentioned. So there's a big amount on this quiz, and then the subjects start up. And the first round is a football round, and who's really good at football? Oh, mate, Tony. He's really good at football. And so then another round starts, and it's about the lads mags. So lad mag round.
Yeah.
It's just like,
F it.
Who's good at that? Tony. Balearic Islands round, and then an ITV2 round.
I love it how he goes Dankeschön. Like he sounds like Delboy, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's so funny.
Which is like, it's funny as well because the Balearic Islands are Spain and he speaks in German.
Yeah, that's it. He just gets it so wrong. It's like, bonjour, it's that kind of thing. It's like so British.
Oh, cringe-tastic. So after the ITV2 round, the announcer says it's the astronomy round. And then he starts talking about star signs and things. So what he actually means is astrology round. So all of the intelligent folk in the room think they've actually got a chance with the astronomy round, and then it's the astrology round. So yeah, Maggie's well happy at this point, isn't she? Because she's all about star signs. This is her round. She's gonna shine. But we get to the last round, and this is archaeology, and this is where it really gets interesting, doesn't it? And it's about when is Tutankhamun's tomb discovered. So we're at Andy's table with Becky and Sophie, and Sophie very proudly states it was 1923. She thinks she knows, absolutely. But then Becky has to come in and correct her, doesn't she? She goes, no, actually, it was discovered in 1922. And then the punchline being she did it as a project with her kids at school, right? So that's how she knows. Anyway, cut to the chase. The scores are added up and Lance's team wins. So Lance has kind of an empty victory, really, doesn't he? Because he knows that his friendship with Andy's on the rocks, but he won anyway. So then
it's funny throughout all that, it just sounds like little cut scenes of them looking at each other.
Yeah.
Like one will be looking and then the other one will look.
Yeah.
Yeah, so awkward. Oh,
Yeah.
so awkward.
Yeah. And Andy actually tries earlier on when they've gone for a ciggy, doesn't he? And he says to Lance, why don't you just come to our table? You can be on our team. And he calls him a rude word, doesn't he? I think he calls him something.
Yeah, I think he does. I think that starts this little sort of you see this insult repeating through the series. Then
he called him a tosser.
I think he did.
He calls him a tosser, and then he goes, "You tosser," and then they go, "No, you are." And it's kind of like kind of 8-year-old boy kind of an argument.
Yeah, and we know Lance has always got to have the last word, right? So he's not going to give up until he's had that last word. And then Becky and Andy very quickly leave on that note, with Sophie sort of wistfully looking after them as they leave. So you're still kind of in two minds at this point about Sophie and her motives, aren't you? And why she's being so rude and inserting herself into Becky and Andy's relationship somewhat. So you get Lance, he's driving home and he's practicing his presidential candidate speech, isn't he? And talking to himself about all the fleeces.
Yeah, and he's really hung up on the fleeces, big time.
He really wants those fleeces.
Yeah. He wants that official merch.
He does. It's all about the merch. We all want our merch.
It's funny. It's like when he was practicing his song introduction in episode 2 when he's sat on the floor. And he's introducing the song.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little flashback to that. Like, he always likes to practice these speeches.
Run through it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we cut back to Andy and Becky's house. They've gone home, and it's quite funny this because Andy's cleaning his dais, and he's very lovingly cleaning it, almost like when you see farmers cleaning their shop gardens and taking it all to bits and all that kind of stuff. And Becky's like, "Ooh, do you want me to leave you two alone?" So it's quite funny. And then she's sort of inquiring more as to why he's not talking to Lance. And Andy sort of half fesses up here, doesn't he? He says it's because he went detecting without him. But he doesn't confess that he went detecting one with Sophie.
No.
And that he found gold without Lance. He doesn't reveal that to Becky at this point.
No, he doesn't.
So I think he
been very sparing with the truth, isn't he?
Yes. And you have to question why. Why wouldn't he share about the gold? But I guess he figures he can't do that because then you have to share that he was there with Sophie at the same time, maybe. Not sure, but it's sure going to bite him in the butt again.
I'd be straight home going, check out what I found.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do that to yourself, would you?
No way. No way.
I'd be all over the socials.
Yeah, I'd get my little notification.
Hi,
She's
Emma's looking
she's gone live. I'll be like, oh, what's she found? Oh dear. So yeah, he says he went detecting without him. And then he notices, he says to Becky, why aren't you drinking? And they're having a bit of a cuddle at this point, aren't they? And then she says, oh, there's a reason. But then just as she says that, there's a knock at the door. And so Becky's getting up to get the door. And you see Andy, and I think he was going up the stairs or something, and he sort of turns around and goes, what reason? You're not trying to lose weight, are you? And you see Becky going to the door. There's no one at the door at this point. I think, what's going on? And she sort of looks around, looks down, and there's an envelope. So that's got to be a thing of nightmares, isn't it? When you open a door and see an envelope.
What thing?
It's never going to be anything good,
It's
is it?
not. No.
Unmarked envelope on your mat
Mm-mm.
the dead of night.
No one to be seen. So she picks up the envelope, bearing in mind we all know what she was just about to say to Andy. She pulls out a picture, an A4 picture at that as well. It's not just some little picture. It's a massive picture, and it's a picture of the moment that Sophie and Andy were kissing, or Sophie had kissed Andy when he'd found his gold. So, yeah. You think Becky's heart's broken, and yet it's confirmed. Very next minute, she's storming out the house, isn't she? And Andy's running after her. She's slamming and banging the car doors, getting in the car. And he thinks that she's annoyed because Andy doesn't seem to have any knowledge of anything that's going on around him. But he thinks it because he said, why aren't you drinking? And he wasn't insinuating that she was fat or needed to lose weight.
He's just completely oblivious, isn't he?
And so Becky's just like, oh, I don't know. Why don't you have a think about it? Something like that. She shouts at him, doesn't she? She's like,
rack your brains.
That's the phrase. Rack
She's got some great
brains.
little old school mom things, hasn't she? That she said.
Yeah. Rack your brains. Think about your floozy. And yeah, she screeches off, doesn't she? She's going to her mum's, and then you just sort of see Andy sort of being confused and looking after her, but then he suddenly looks towards the door, and the door is very swiftly closing, isn't it? And he ain't got no key.
He's locked out.
Bad end to a bad day.
Bad end to a very bad day. So yeah, that was the end of this week's episode. What do we think?
That was the EastEnders moment, wasn't it?
It was.
We've got to see what happens next week now.
Getting very tense.
I think at this point you're thinking, is this a comedy? Because it's getting my heartstrings here.
It starts off so calm in a field with some birds tweeting, and now it's got to this point.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Lance and Andy can recover their friendship. We don't know what's happening with Becky and Andy. We don't know what's happening with Bishop's place and the gold. It's all up in the air. And on top of that, somebody has been stirring the pot, taking pictures and spying on Andy anyway. So that's all still to be revealed. And I can't wait till next week's episode. Very exciting. So yeah, Ellie.
Very exciting.
Thank you for being such a wonderful guest again. And have yourself a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Christmas. I hope we all get our Detectorist list gear from Santa, whatever that may be.
Being good. We've only got 2 more days left.
2 more days. I'm going to have that last mad panic to think, did I get everyone enough? And I'll probably end up dashing off to go and get more stuff that I shouldn't spend money on. That's the classic, isn't it? But yeah, thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you, Carl. Have a very Merry Christmas. And I really look forward to chatting to you in the new year.
Bye, everyone.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.